Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Abhirami and I am here to discuss with you about today's topic, that is the muscles of the pectoral region. So we will be discussing about the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, serratus anterior, subclavius, and we will summarize the whole thing. So now let's talk about the pectoralis major. The pectoralis major has 4 subparts under it. That is, first thing is the structures under the cover of the pectoralis major. So the bones and cartilages under the cover of pectoralis major include the sternum, ribs and their costal cartilages. So this is the sternum and these are the ribs, and the ribs join with the sternum using their costal cartilages. Okay, so this part is the costal cartilages. Now let's talk about the muscles that are under the cover of the pectoralis major. So the muscles under the cover of the pectoralis major include the subclavius muscle present over here, and then the pectoralis minor, and then the upper part of the coracobrachialis and the biceps, and then the serratus anterior and the intercostal muscles. So there are 6 muscles in total which are under the cover of the pectoralis major. The fascia under the cover of the pectoralis major is the clavipectoral fascia, and the vessels under the cover of pectoralis major is the axillary vessel. The nerves under the cover of pectoralis major is the cord of brachial plexus and its branches. Now let's talk about the second subpart under the pectoralis major, that is the bilaminar tendon of the pectoralis major. So the bilaminar tendon attaches the pectoralis major to the lateral lip of the intertubercular sulcus in the humerus. Okay, so bilaminar itself shows that there are 2 laminas, that is the anterior lamina and posterior lamina. Now let's talk about them separately. So the anterior lamina and posterior lamina are actually connected inferiorly. So this is the anterior lamina and this is the posterior lamina, and they are connected inferiorly. So the anterior lamina is thicker and shorter than the posterior lamina. The anterior lamina has 2 strata of fibers, which are the superficial fibers that arise from the anterior surface of the medial half of the clavicle, and the deep fibers from the manubrium. The posterior lamina is attached to the muscle fibers from the sternum and the 2nd to 6th ribs and their costal cartilages, and the aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle of the abdomen. Okay, the fibers from the aponeurosis and sternum get twisted together, and then they go around the lower border of the pectoralis major, and they get attached to a successively higher position in the posterior lamina, that is over here. Okay, so they get attached to a successively higher position, and the twisted fibers form the anterior axillary fold. The fibers arising from the lowest part form the crescentic fold, and they fuse with the capsular ligament of the shoulder joint. So they arise from over here and then they fuse with the capsular ligament of the shoulder joint over here as they form a crescentic fold. Now let's talk about the variation in the pectoralis major. So in very rare cases there is a muscle called sternalis which arises from the lower costal cartilages, and it passes vertically upwards, like it arises over here and it passes vertically upwards, and it ends at the upper part of the sternum or at the upper costal cartilages. Okay, and it blends with the sternocleidomastoid muscle. So that is the variation here. So the last part in the pectoralis major is the clinical anatomy. So the clavicular head of the pectoralis major muscle can be tested by trying to lift a heavy table or rod, and the sternocostal head of the pectoralis major can be tested by trying to depress a heavy table or rod. And the muscle itself, the whole muscle, can be tested by bringing the fists together and pressing them against each other like this. Okay. Now let's talk about the pectoralis minor. So the pectoralis minor, as shown in this diagram, originates from the 3rd, 4th and 5th ribs near their costochondral junctions. Okay, but this origin may be prefixed or postfixed. This origin is variable, so it may be prefixed or postfixed. It may start from the 2nd and end at the 4th, or it may start from the 4th and end at the 6th. Okay, it varies, but most commonly it arises from the 3rd, 4th and 5th ribs. the pectoralis minor gets inserted onto the medial surface of the coracoid process over here, but sometimes it may go over and attach itself to the coracoacromial ligament, or it may pass over the ligament and attach itself to the coracohumeral ligament, thus reaching the humerus. Now let's talk about the variation in the pectoralis minor. So some muscle fibers may get separated from the pectoralis minor and they start from the first rib. Okay, they start from the first rib and they end at the coracoid process. So these muscle fibers form the pectoralis minimus muscle. Okay, and the function of the pectoralis minor is to move the scapula forwards. Okay, and it moves the scapula forwards with the help of the serratus anterior, and also it helps in the forceful inspiration and it depresses the point of the shoulder. Okay, we did not talk about the functions of the pectoralis major, so let's talk about them now. The pectoralis major actually, the clavicular head of the pectoralis major helps to lift a heavy table or rod, and the sternocostal head of the pectoralis major helps in depressing a heavy table or rod, and the sternocostal part of the pectoralis major also helps in climbing, and the muscle pectoralis major as in a whole helps in the adduction and medial rotation of the arm. Now let's talk about the serratus anterior muscle. Before that, let me show you this diagram. So this is the horizontal section through axilla, and so you can see pectoralis major is present over here, and the muscles under it are the pectoralis minor, serratus anterior, biceps and coracobrachialis, and then the subclavius muscle. We all know that the subclavius muscle is arising from the inferior part of the clavicle, so it attaches itself to the first rib. So as you can see, the serratus anterior is present over here. And now let's talk about the serratus anterior. The serratus anterior originates from the upper 8 ribs and the fascia covering the intercostal muscles which are intervening between the ribs. Okay, and the serratus anterior gets inserted onto the scapula on the costal surface on the medial border. Okay, so on the costal surface or the surface that is facing the rib cage, so on the costal surface on the medial border, the serratus anterior gets inserted. So there are 8 digitations. The first digitations get inserted from the superior angle of the scapula to the root of the spine. The second 3 digitations, that is the 2, 3 and 4 digitations, get inserted along the medial border, and then the last 4 digitations get inserted in a large triangular area that covers the inferior angle. Now let's talk about the nerve supply to the serratus anterior. So the nerves that supply the serratus anterior come from the brachial plexus, from the roots of the C5, C6 and C7. Now let's talk about the actions of the serratus anterior. The serratus anterior brings the scapula forward, so this helps in pushing and punching movements, and then the serratus anterior also stabilizes the scapula and it also helps in the forceful inspiration. Now paralysis of the serratus anterior causes winking of the scapula. So winking of the scapula makes the inferior angle and the medial border of the scapula unduly prominent, and the person cannot raise their arms above their head or make pushing or punching movements anymore. Now let's summarize all that we've discussed about in this video. So the pectoralis major originated from the anterior surface of the medial half of clavicle, and then half the breadth of the anterior surface of the manubrium, and then 2nd to 6th costal cartilages, and aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle of the abdomen. Okay, and it inserted by the bilaminar tendon onto the lateral lip of the intertubercular sulcus of the humerus. Okay, and it was supplied by the median and lateral pectoral nerves. Likewise, the pectoralis minor is also supplied by the medial and lateral pectoral nerves, and the pectoralis minor arises from the 3rd, 4th and 5th ribs near their costochondral junction, and also it arises from the intervening fascia covering the external intercostal muscles. So the pectoralis minor gets inserted into the medial border and the upper surface of the coracoid process, and the nerve supply is the medial and lateral pectoral nerves. And then the subclavius muscle, it originates from the first rib at the costochondral junction, and it is inserted into the subclavian groove in the middle of the 1/3 of the clavicle on its inferior surface. The nerve supply is the nerve to subclavius from the upper trunk of the brachial plexus. Now let's summarize the actions made by the muscles. So the pectoralis major as a whole causes adduction of the arm and medial rotation of the shoulder. Okay, and the clavicular part of the pectoralis major produces flexion of the arm, and the sternocostal part of the pectoralis major is used in extension of the arm against a resistance, and it also helps in the climbing. Okay, and the pectoralis minor draws the scapula forward with the help of the serratus anterior, and it also helps in the forced inspiration, and it helps in depressing the point of the shoulder. And subclavius steadies the clavicle during the movements of the shoulder. That's the end of this session. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have doubts in bones of the upper limb chapter 2, you can visit my previous videos. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe and comment on it. Thank you.